Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. Um, we're all getting to know each other a little bit more, and seriously, life is beautiful. And for a long time, I thought that, I'm writing a book. There's also that, but for a long time, I thought that maybe it wasn't, quite time yet to sort of tell people how I feel, in terms of my own personal feelings, not just extemporaneously sort of speaking about current events. But, I think the time has never been better. Listen, I identify as a social capitalist. Now, I'm not even sure if that's a word, honestly, or a term, but that's what I am. I am a social capitalist, meaning that I believe in socialism, cherry picking the good parts. I think that America has run its experiments on a democratic republic. And honestly, I think that socialism combined with capitalism is, in fact, our next step forward. In a nutshell, to me, a social capitalist is somebody who believes in the Bill of Rights, also the second Bill of Rights that was never adopted here in America, created by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It's still archived here on YouTube, but there is a second Bill of Rights that was introduced before the end of World War II and never adapted because our president died, right? And so no more discussion about the second Bill of Rights. So the socialism aspect is believing that all people deserve an equitable shot at living a decent life. Yeah, I strongly believe that, regardless of creed, race, culture, ethnicity, everyone born on this planet deserves to live a peaceful existence. And we are born with these rights. They are inalienable. I don't think anybody should ever worry about food. I don't think anybody should worry about housing, education, or healthcare. Those are the social aspects of what I believe. I believe that healthcare should be universal. I believe that education, post secondary, should also be allotted for by the government. I believe in a universal living wage. I believe that women should have an opportunity to perform an abortion if they'd like. I think that gay people and transgender people should all have equal and equitable access to our social system without fear of being harmed or harassed or bullied. And the capitalist part of me enjoys competition. And I've talked about this before. You know, Adam Smith was the guy that wrote the Capitalist Manifesto. And I've read the Capitalist Manifesto. I've also read um, uh, Marx theory, right? When I was younger. And so I've been studying politics my entire life. And I've been a speech and debate champion, both in college and in high school. I've always advocated for, what is right, regardless of political boundaries. I also identify as a religious person. So I got a lot going on. But trust me, I understand that everybody deserves certain things that they shouldn't have to work for. You know, with the advent of technology and the luxury of doing a job well done, there's really not a lot of room left in the workforce, I'd say, moving forward. And so it's really important to talk more about the social aspects of being a social capitalist than it is the capitalist ones, because essentially it can be summed up on the capitalist side in a few different terms, right? Private property, free market, and competition. All of which kind of mean the same thing, but again, as a free market person, there's nothing wrong with capitalism when it's done right. The problem is that we live in a world full of cronyism. The problem is that people are corrupt. The government is not looking out for our best interests at the current moment. And I think that in those cases, a stronger government is needed. Where social programs fall short, the government must step in to fix societal problems. That is their job. We pay them taxes. We follow the rules. We promote living well in a democratic republic. There should be some perks involved in those things. And, furthermore, as a social capitalist, I find myself in a really, really, really strange situation because, as it's been expressed numerous times, I don't fall within any of the current parties, right? I think a lot of us feel like that. And it's important to transcend, it's important to grow, it's important to change all the time. Change is the mandated, necessary component to bring forth positive potentialities, and so again, as a social capitalist, I just can't be any more clear with a couple of things. I love this country. I do. I love America, the United States of America. It's given me an opportunity to be where I am today. And I wouldn't take that back for anything. I'm very happy and grateful to have been born in this country with the rights and privileges that I was. I think all of us should feel like that. We take these things for granted, but I certainly don't. I try not to. And when I make mistakes, I am an accountable person. And so the thing is not only do I love this country, I love everyone in it. I mean, people watching the views, people watching the videos, people not agreeing with me. I'm not, again, trying to make you agree with me. I just want to be heard, just like all of y'all. And I think once there's many opinions, at the table, then I think we can discuss a solution moving forward. But clearly what's going on isn't working. And clearly the Electoral College is perhaps the worst thing to happen to any democratic republic in its inception. The Electoral College does not accurately reflect the constituents and our populace here in America. It just doesn't. We don't even know who our electors are, and so for those few of us who do, then, I guess we could try to educate all of our peers and everything on how the Electoral College works and how it really doesn't matter what the popular vote is, just so long as the electors are, abiding to whatever arbitrary policy they abide to. That's not electing a president. That is the false facade of a democratic republic. You know what I mean? And so, again, take it as it is. I know that maybe some people will be a little off put by the social capitalist kind of a thing, but I just don't see any other way around it. I don't see any other solutions. Both the Republicans and the Democrats have continued to let this country down, and it can no longer be an option. It simply cannot. We no longer have the time to afford all of the mistakes that come along with either of these two parties, regardless of their age, regardless of their beliefs. They are, in fact, Democrats and Republicans. And they're basically the same, in terms of facilitating the perpetuation or the growth of the status quo. And listen, I like rich people just as much as the next guy. I hope well wishes for everyone. If people want to spend their entire existence trying to accumulate paper, then that's on them. If that makes them happy, and they're not harming anybody physically or mentally, then we have to live with understanding how greed is involved in our modern world, right? But not all of us have to be greedy. Not all of us have to chase paper for the rest of our lives. Not all of us are interested in that stuff. Most of us, I'd argue, are interested in a peaceful existence in which the government helps, doesn't harm. It's not actively harming, but helps. And currently, the government helps few people, and the few people that it does help don't get the kind of help that it needs, don't get the kind of help that they need. And so instead of making decisions that pertain arbitrarily to one group of people or the other, we should simply make things a little more unified and allow people to live their lives free from all of the encumbrance and all of the things that we make people feel bad about. Freedom of choice of religion, choice of sexuality, choice of political ideologies. There's so many things in this country that we make each other feel terrible about. And instead, we could be actively working on a solution, but it's just not possible in the dual political party system that currently exists here in this country, which is why, not just me, but for a long time, people have tried to, create a third party. And, I just know that I'm a social capitalist. I know that I believe in the free market and that I'm all for competition. May the best person win, seriously. This is how the business world works, and that seems pretty fair to me. If you're better, you win. If you're not, you lose. Unfortunately, those same kinds of thoughts can't translate over to people because we're all in this together. And the more we help each other, the better off we all are. Not the other way around, seriously. And I know for a long time, we've been indoctrinated to think that this is all on us, that your life is all on you. Pull up your bootstraps, get it together. The problem with that is that it takes a village. And oftentimes, we're not all built like Rambo. You feel me? And that's okay. Rambo's an exception, an exceptional character. There are people that can get it done on their own. Pretty incredible. For the rest of us, we got to rely on our team. We have to rely on our teammates and our peers, and we have to trust them. If we don't trust them, then we will never get anywhere, literally, just like a relationship. And I fear and I feel that unless, we drastically change what's happening in at least conversation, then we will continue to always talk about the same old problems. I mean, comparing this presidential election to one that happened nearly 50 years ago isn't doing anybody any good. You feel me? Like, I get that, but I also understand that if we don't talk about these things, nothing will ever change. And so I hope that you guys all have a great night, and I hope that in some way, shape, or form, you understand that I want you to continue to watch the videos. I want to grow with you. I want this channel to blow up. You feel me? But I also want people to understand my authentic self, right? In that we may do 100 extemp speeches a day. You feel me? And I try to balance these kinds of discussions out in a manner that will allow the viewer to sort of choose what side they're on. But to be clear, we all have sides, and we're all biased. And my bias lies within the fact that I believe people deserve more. I think that people deserve better. And honestly, I don't think I can ever stop doing anything in my life until I feel a little bit better about how other people are treated, And again, this is just because I've seen people get treated so badly and so poorly for sometimes no reason at all. And, that's a culture. That's a culture that perpetuates this very sort of narcissistic, selfish kind of a viewpoint that literally pits one citizen against the other, when instead we can be working together to actually fix the problems that we see. I mean, we all want our children to live better lives. We all want our elderly family to have the best end of life care. We all want people to be treated fairly. We all want to eat. We all want to have fair access to a meaningful job. These are things that are common amongst the majority of people all over the world. And none of this can be accomplished if the government is not stable and if the government doesn't allow for the kind of peaceful protest that one finds in our current political climate. So, again, I know it's a new idea, and I know I might be going out on a limb when I say these things. This is a long video, but understand that I'm a social capitalist, and that, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not on anyone's team as far as the dual political mass consumed party system in this country is. You know, because I'm also fed up, you know, as a 36-year-old man, I also cannot stand anymore to affiliate myself with a group of people that aren't the group of people that reflect the kinds of interests that are needed in the modern age. Okay? So that's all. I hope you guys have a lovely night. And seriously, I know this one was a little boring, but they're just ideologies that I've had for a long time. And while I might not be a Gen Zer or an Alpha, you know, in my prime, you know, in my teenage days, in my 20s, I was right where you're at. I was also bitter about electing the better of the worst. And I'm tired of talking to other adults about electing the better of the worst candidates. We should be electing the best person for the job, not the better of the two worst people. This is not the way we should even be addressing these kinds of things. So again, thank you for watching the videos, and I really hope that y'all have a great night, okay? Seriously, I really do. And hopefully we don't lose all the subscribers, you know? But I am running a promotion next week, so hopefully we'll get some back, all right? I hope you guys have a lovely night, and thank you so much for watching.